Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S24 and compare it against the Samsung Galaxy S23 and see which particular phone is the better one for you. Now, both these phones are slightly different, but if you want to pick up either one of these devices or some other phones I would recommend, they'll be linked down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these devices, you can kind of see there's some interesting stuff going on between both of them. The Samsung Galaxy S23 on the front has a 6.1-inch dynamic AMOLED display, and it's a very good panel. I like this panel when it first came out, and it still looks very, very good. It's 6.1 inches, it's slightly smaller than the Galaxy S24's, but it's still a very good looking panel, 1080p, 120 Hz. What's not to love about these types of displays? It's a good phone, it doesn't feel that big in the hand. So if you're somebody who has smaller hands, like myself, this phone's going to feel pretty good, and it's not really going to feel like a massive phone you're going to have to tumble over all the time. With the Galaxy S24 now, it's slightly bigger. Doesn't feel bigger by any means, but it is a bigger panel. So it's a 6.1-inch dynamic LTPO AMOLED display. So it's a little bit of a different type of panel this time around. Still looks very good. It's a big thing here. You are getting a way brighter display on something like the Galaxy S24 than the S23. 1750 nits of brightness here. It's 2600 here. Massive difference if you're in bright areas all the time. Having a panel that can get as bright as this would be doing yourself massive favors. 120 Hz display here too, 1080p, very good panel on the S24. I would definitely say it's a pretty big improvement there. The rest of the body though is actually very different. Samsung has got, basically given us completely flat sides on the Galaxy S24 now. With the S23 it's kind of curved a little bit. I don't know if you can kind of tell, but it's kind of curved. The S24 now is completely flat. Pretty big difference there. They've also kind of kept this layout of everything kind of exactly the same too. So you're getting USB Type-C ports and the SIM card tray and everything. But it is insane to me that Samsung kind of took the design language a little bit from Apple now and given us almost the same type of feeling phone on the iPhone 15 as the Galaxy S24. On the backside though, they didn't replace the back. It still looks almost identically the same. From the backside, you probably would not be able to tell the difference for the average person, but an easy way to tell between an S23 and S24 is with this camera layout. If this camera flash is right next to the top camera, that's an S23. If it's kind of in the middle of both those, then it's an S24. That's kind of an easy way to tell. But you are getting very similar cameras between them as well. You're getting wireless and reverse wireless charging between them, IP certification as well. And there is a ton of overlap between these two devices. It's not even funny. If I was going from one phone to the other, body-wise, they look a lot alike, but with the brighter panel and with the flat sides, I'll tell you, this is a pretty decent upgrade, at least from the exterior, from the brightness, perspective, and from I would say the flat sides. It's a very big change. It doesn't really feel like it, but it kind of does. But one of the biggest changes Samsung threw in here is actually with the software. We're now getting 7 years of security and software updates on our Samsung Galaxy S24. That S23, I don't even know. It's probably getting 4 years or something like that. So they're both still supported right now. It's not like you're going to notice it right now, but many years from now, and I'm talking 5-6 years from now, you're going to notice that the Galaxy S24 is no longer supported with software, but the Galaxy S24 is still supported with software. That's a pretty big change. So if you're in the market and you want a phone that's going to last you for many, many years to come, you might want to go for a phone like the Samsung Galaxy S24. This is going to be a big phone. Right now, if you're planning on keeping a phone for 2-3 years, either one of these phones is going to be fine. But for those of you who want to keep a phone for so many years, this is going to be probably the better way to go for you. So that kind of covers it up there. Now in terms of speed, let's go and do a speed comparison. The Galaxy S23 had that Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset inside with 8GB of RAM, but the Galaxy S24 has that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chipset inside with 8GB of RAM on the base model, but there is a 12GB of RAM option for the S24, which is pretty insane. So let's go and do a speed comparison between both these devices. Okay, there we go. Go and clear out the apps in the background. As you can see, they are all pretty much cleared out. So let's get into it. So phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Kind of the same thing. The S24 is here, S23 is here, by the way. Messages, 3, 2, 1. Kind of about the same thing too. Camera, 3, 2, 1. And I would imagine there's actually a lot of overlap between these two, to be completely honest. Play Store, 3, 2, 1. I totally messed that one up too, but we'll just load into it. Just going through and see if there's a big difference here. And you can actually see the S24 was able to kind of load faster overall than something like the Samsung Galaxy S23. Not really too sure why. We can load up TikTok or whatever application. Let's just do this one. 3, 2, 1. Kind of the same thing. Hopping out of these two. We do have some third-party apps here. Unfortunately, I have to go into the Game Center thing on this one, or the Game Pass, whatever it's called. Not Game Pass, the other one. But we can do these ones. X321. Okay. I think the S24 is slightly faster. Snapchat 321. We're very fast on both those phones. Quizlet 321. I think S24 is slightly faster there. We can get into this game center, so game hub or whatever it is. Let's get into this one. We have some games here that we can go and try out. Oh, we'll just go and hop out of here. We'll go and try it here though. Let's do it later. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Now this game is not that big of a game, but it's still a good game to kind of test out. As you can see, we did have that downloading content thing or downloading config, whatever, on the S23, so it could slow it down just a tad bit. Not a big deal though, but just one of those things to keep in mind. And the S24 was basically already loaded. S23 took a little bit more time getting to some gameplay. Let's see if there's a big difference here. Like I said, I really don't think it's going to be a massive difference. You can kind of see for yourself what's going on here. It's going to be kind of the same thing, hopping out of these two. Let's get back into the game hub thing, whatever it's called. Let's try like Snake vs. Blocks, 3, 2, 1. Now again, this is not, the most intense game of all time, but it's still kind of cool to see even small differences like this. You can see again, the S24 is overall doing a better job here. Getting into the actual game, I don't really think it's going to be that big of a difference. Hopping out of these two. Let's get back in the game hub. Let's go and try Thank You, 3, 2, 1. And once again, this is going to be a pretty basic one for the most part as well. And the Galaxy S24, once again, is probably the faster one. Hopping out of these two, let's get into another one. Let's go and try the regular Temple Run, 3, 2, 1. Again, not the biggest game in the world, but still kind of fun to test out with some of these basic ones. I'll probably have a full speed comparison at some point, but you can kind of get a gauge that the S24 is only like slightly faster than the Galaxy S23. I think you're going to notice bigger differences when it comes down to like massive games. Like if you're playing Genshin Impact on the highest settings, then maybe you'll notice some bigger differences. But so far, basically the same thing as far as we can tell, but there's a slight improvement with the Galaxy S24. Now, in terms of the camera side of things, you're definitely getting very similar camera layouts, in my opinion, on both these phones. So with both of these, you're getting triple camera setups, which is great, wide ultra-wide telephoto lenses, and you're getting 8K capability. Now, Samsung did say with this year's phones, they are giving you a little bit of an improvement with its like attachment to the other devices. So like with TikTok and Snapchat and those types of games and applications, they're saying it gives you like a little bit of a better experience. I'm not like 1000% too sure, but that could be one thing to keep in mind between both of them. Now with the Galaxy S23, I do think this is like a pretty good performing phone in terms of the camera. Like it could be way worse. It's a pretty good performing device. So you can see you're getting like 0.6x zoom on the outside, and you're getting 30x zoom on the inside, which is a pretty big thing. Having that type of zooming capability is very cool, and that's something I love with this one. You're getting portrait mode, which is very cool, photo mode, video mode, portrait video, and under more you're getting a lot more options. So you're getting clearly like expert raw, you're getting pro video, so many other things. Very cool stuff going on for this particular phone, which I'm a very, very big fan about. With the Galaxy S24, it's definitely an improvement, I would say, just because of Samsung's kind of like statement with it getting a little bit better with like, the Snapchat and those types of applications. So that's something cool. Otherwise, though, I mean, I don't think it's that big of a difference. Like, you're still getting 0.6x zoom. You're still getting 30x zoom on the inside. So those are some improvements there. You're getting portrait, mode, you're getting photo mode, video mode, and under more. Again, you're getting a lot more options, which again is very cool. I definitely do think this type of camera is very nice. I think it's a very, very good camera for sure. I definitely would say it's better than the Samsung Galaxy S23 as well, but I don't think it's like a massive difference, and I don't think that is going to be the area where you're going to upgrade to and be like, okay, this is why I need the S24. So to kind of sum it up, what I'll definitely tell you is I definitely do think a phone like the Samsung Galaxy S24 is a very solid device. I think it gets the job done for the most part, and it's a fairly good upgrade coming from the Galaxy S23. I think if you currently own an S23, I'd probably recommend you to keep it. Maybe keep it for like another year or two, and then maybe buy a used Galaxy S24 once these ones go down in value a little bit, which they kind of already are. I definitely would say the S23, very decent phone. It was a good upgrade from the S22, but the S24 is an insane upgrade. The 7 years of software updates, the flat sides now give it a different type of appeal, bigger upgrade in terms of the hardware from the S22 to the S23 is definitely the S23 to the S24, and you're getting a big software improvement as well. It's a very, very good phone, and I think Samsung did a really good job this year, and I'm very, very happy with the way they approached it. So that's kind of how both these phones kind of compare. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video.